All right, thanks, thanks a lot, Morten. Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome everybody onto our call today. We're broadcasting around the world for all those who are hooking up to us, or if you're listening into a recording later, welcome to the call. My name is Chris Gullo. I'm a Royal Diamond out of the United States. I've been around the Nikken International world for over, well, right at 20 years. My cohort, who's responsible for all the technical aspects of this call and everything, is Morten Andersen. He's a Royal Diamond out of Oslo, Norway, and just an awesome person himself. Morten, thanks for arranging and putting this call together for us. So, but let's talk about our special guest today. I really am happy to have this particular gentleman on the call today. To me, he is a friend. He's a mentor of mine. He has touched millions of lives all over the world in a super positive way. He goes way out of his way to help everybody. This guy, it's just amazing as I've watched him over the years. He travels wherever he needs to travel and helps everybody he possibly can. He's a great family man. He's a great husband, great father. He's just kind of one of those guys that you just like to be around because he just has such great energy. I just like being around this person. And from a Nikken world point of view, he's won just about every award and honor that Nikken has to give. And it's just amazing. And lastly, but not least, he is the current reigning Consultant of the Year for all of North America. So I'd like to give a really super warm welcome to my friend and mentor, Royal Diamond, and my opinion, the best ambassador that Nikken ever had, okay, Royal Diamond, Reid Nelson. Reid, welcome on the call.
Thanks, Chris, and thanks, Morten. It's great to be here with you. It's awesome.
Yep, absolutely. So, well, you know, Reid, a lot of people do not know you that may be listening on this call, or even some of our consultants around Europe or so may not have seen you, the new ones. So, tell everybody a little bit about you and when you got involved. First of all, how long have you been in Nikken, by the way, Reid?
Well, in October it'll be 23 years.
23 years. Wow. You know what? I'm gonna have to say this. You know, and it's always interesting that back in the early days, I'd say early days, 15, 20 years ago, I was traveling around Europe and everything. It seemed like to me the only time I saw you was if we were in Paris, or I think it was Amsterdam. I saw you once. Frankfurt. There was in London. We had a big deal. Oslo. Even when we went to Tokyo, of course, our national conferences and things. But it seemed like I always saw you somewhere else.
No, never at home.
Never at home. That's it. And I know that you love to meet people and travel all over the world like I do. But getting back to what I was saying, because I had to throw that in because it's really amazing how this world of Nikken works. But what caught your eye? How'd you get involved? I mean, what happened there? You know, because a lot of new people, some people not even are deciding to get on. So how'd you get involved?
Well, you know, Yvonne and I got involved back in October of 1990, so come up here in 23 years. And we got in to make money. I mean, we were broke. We'd been in business for ourselves many, many years, done very well, actually. And but I made a couple mistakes in one of the business we had, and it actually went bankrupt because of the mistakes that I'd made. And so we were literally starting our lives over again. And we had to move in with my parents, and long story short, it was a long couple of years. You know, we lost everything. We were accustomed to a good 6-digit income. Life was good, you know, but I blew it, and we had to start all over again. And I ended up in the hospital a couple times in early 1990 with anxiety attacks, and it was just really stressful times. Because even though we went bankrupt, we still had about $250,000 of bills we couldn't take into bankruptcy, so we still had a lot of debt to pay up, and we just never seemed to be able to catch it. And of course, I'm not, as you know, I'm not much of a job person. Yeah, I don't have a job to see. I'm 61, going on 25. I tell everybody.
Right.
I haven't had a job since I was 22. I'm not looking for one now. and I wasn't looking for one then either. I was looking for opportunity, and after spending the almost 8 months literally in bed just trying to recoup from stress and anxiety, Nikken came into our lives. I was praying for something to come in, and it did. It was Nikken.
Well, let me ask you, you said when Nikken came in your life, a lot of people, especially in today's economy, things, for a lot of people, things are tough today. It doesn't matter what part of the world you live in. You don't know really what's going to happen next 3 months or 6 months or a year. You're kind of conservative, that kind of thing. And some people think, well, you guys got in when it was really great times, and that's not the case, okay? But the point being is why Nikken? What caught your attention with Nikken?
Well, it's interesting you say that because we had been involved with another company many, many years before that. We've been around network marketing. This year is 40 years. So we've been around a long time. Did some other companies and things, but just never really found anything we could call home. Nothing that we fell in love with doing. It was just always about the money, really, because products didn't matter. Well, when Nikken came along, I was looking for three things, Chris. I tell people this. I was looking to make some money. I was looking to have some fun. But I think fun's important.
Yeah.
If I'm not having fun, I'm not doing it. Pretty simple.
Right.
And the other thing is I really wanted to do something to help people, physically and financially both. And when Nikken came up, I said, wow, this isn't going to get much better than this. I mean, if you can make a lot of money, have a lot of fun while you're doing it, and really help people, I mean, what's better than that?
It's kind of interesting you say that because we were talking earlier with a group of key people, and that was talked about quite a bit in that call where people are talking about having fun. And it seemed like to me the more fun you have, the better things work.
Well, you're absolutely right, because if you're having fun, you're going to attract people, because most of the people out there, and I know that we're talking to a rural international audience here, but here in the United States, most people aren't having much fun right now. It's not fun to be in business out there right now in the regular world. And so when we're having fun and really showing that outwardly and living a dream lifestyle, they want to know what we're doing. They want to have fun too. And they want to be free like we are. So it's very attractive to a lot of people.
Absolutely. I'll say this, and I've always said this, is that, if you're going to have a really good business, you have to have something behind that. You can do great short term no matter what if you just go out there and just, promote. But we have something that's big behind us. We have some of the best technologies in the world. And I know that you've seen tens of thousands of people help Reid. I mean, how do you compare what we have? Because there's a lot of things floating around there, out there in the world. How do you compare what we have to anybody else out there?
There is no comparison. I mean, I would be remiss to say there's not some good products out there, because there are. There are certainly some good products, especially in the nutrition field, which 95% of network marketing is involved in. But nobody has the whole picture like we do.
Right.
You have that. I compare it all the time. You've heard me say this. I compare this to, I think everybody knows what the Academy Awards are, right? Best movie of the year and all that.
Right.
Nikken's main core product line, with the sleep systems, magnetics, infrared technologies, we're in a category of ourselves. We don't really have competition there. I mean, we're in a category of ourselves. So we won the Academy Award hands down. But the good news is we also won the best supporting actors and actresses as well for water, air, nutrition, light, everything else that comes into this. We just got the very, very best there is, and we have all the categories. Nobody has what we have. We're in a category by ourselves, and it really is hard to talk about that with people.
You know what? What's interesting that you say that and everything, and the way the markets are going right now. My background is in research and all that kind of stuff. Morten, I'd rather have fun though.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
But the bottom line is, it's amazing how wellness has just engulfed the Western world. I mean, and it's spreading all over the world. People are so into natural, anything that's non-traditional, that's non-drug, non-surgery, all that kind of stuff. There's natural ways to help people. That's what the world wants right now in a big, giant way. You see it on TV and cable and satellite. Anything that you see on TV, you'll see a lot, even commercials. Everything's about having life and natural this and natural that. We can't be in a better place. What's your thought?
Oh, no. I mean, you look at what's going on all over the world. The financial world's a mess. I don't care where you're at. It's a mess, you know. People are looking for ways to substitute incomes, to supplement incomes, to create new careers, all those things, because there's so many challenges out there in all the countries. It's not just one or two. It's everywhere. It's kind of messed up. And when you look at the kind of product you deal in, you know, we just have the best of everything. You know what? Our nutritional products, which we always talk about having people on auto ship and all that, you know, they are so good. You know, the Vital Balance. I know that's not everywhere in the world at this point, but you know, Green Sign. These are top-notch products. We may not have vitamin C. We may not have some supplemental things a lot of companies just, you know, do. But what we have is absolutely first class, and that's in every category. We don't have weakness.
We don't have a weakness, and that's really good. So that was my next question. Do you think there's, you know, some people go, well, you know, Nikken's been around for a while. Is there still some opportunity out there for us?
Yeah, I have to laugh, you know.
I know, but I had to ask the question.
Yeah, I get that question a lot. I always laugh at the same way, too. I mean, we live in Portland, Oregon, on the west coast of the United States, and we have about, a little over 3 million people in the greater metropolitan area here in our city. And I can walk down the streets of Portland, Oregon. We've been doing this almost 23 years, Chris and Morten, and after all this time, I can talk to 200 people, total strangers, and none of them heard of Nikken.
It's really amazing.
And it's that way everywhere I go. There's no difference. I mean, you can go over to Oslo, Norway, walk down the street, talk to people. Most people have no idea what you're talking about.
Absolutely. You know, if you look at all the countries we're in, which is, you know, about 37 plus and growing right now, if you look at all those countries and look at the number of people that are in those countries, we're looking at about 1 billion to 1.5 billion people. And of that 1 billion, about maybe about 2% of the whole 1 billion ever heard of who we are. There's so much opportunity out there right now. It's unbelievable. And what's so unbelievable about all this, Reid, is that we've been around a long while, but because of the age of the internet and a lot of things we can do with technology today, we can get to the masses now better now than we ever have had, and that's one of the reasons why we're able to do these kind of calls right now, is that we now have technology and we can communicate and educate people without actually maybe even being physically there. And the combination of our technologies and that, which to me gives a significant opportunity out there, better than it's ever have been. And
yeah,
that's
totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah. So you got involved. So how did you get started?
Very traditionally. You know, when you think about what you just talked about, technology and stuff, you know, it's hard for me to fathom as we're sitting here talking into a really cool microphone that doesn't require me to wear a headset. There's no echoes. There's no anything. Looking at my computer screen, doing all these things. When we got involved, the internet didn't exist. That just sounds odd, doesn't it?
No, it really, 15 years ago. I mean, it wasn't here 15 years ago.
Yeah, so we were very traditionally starting the business. I made a big list of names, and I tell people all the time that we had some advantages that most people just don't have, and I accept that, and but doesn't mean people can't do it. You know, we've been around network marketing for 18 years before this. We had some experience, so we knew what to do. We'd also been in business for ourselves for many years. So we had a lot of people on the list. Now, nobody has that many good friends, but we had tons and tons of acquaintances. So we made a list of about 500 people, and I always tell people laughingly that you need to find people like us. You need to find people with a big list of names. It'll help you. It'll go quicker. So anyway, we made this big list of names, and then I whittled that down to a little more reasonable size. It may sound good to have that many names, but sometimes it's a little big, you know, a little unwieldy. And so I whittled it down to 274 names, Chris, and I whittled it down with 2 criteria. Number 1, are these people that I trust? Well, with acquaintances, you don't really know if you trust them or not, so you're just going with your gut feeling, right? You don't know.
Right.
And then the other part of that, are these people I would just enjoy being in business with? I mean, if I don't like them, isn't life too short to deal with all that? I think it is, you know.
Right.
So with that, we got that list down to 274 people. In November 1st of 1990, in this case, I don't like the word I, but in this case it was I contacted 226 of those people from November 1st to November 18th of 1990 in 18 days. I didn't have a job, wasn't working, so I had plenty of time. I worked every day but Sunday, so I just went for it 24/6 basically. And I called all these people up and I simply said, listen, we just got involved with a company called Nikken. It's something we're really excited about. We'd be honored if you consider joining us in our new venture. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at the products. I want you to look at the business opportunity. I want you to go through this whole thing with me. And then when we're done, I want you to join me, become a customer, or lead me to somebody that might join me and become a customer. That was the pitch. That was it. And that was it. That's all it was. And so from that group, 125 immediately said no. I said, okay, I can deal with that. But 101 said they would at least look. From that 101, 27 people still said no after going through everything. 54 people became customers of the product. They didn't want to get in. They loved the products. So now, guys, that says volumes about the value people place on what we have. It's huge.
Right.
A lot of people want to buy our stuff. They don't necessarily all want to get in, but they love our product. And then 20 got in. So out of the 226 people we actually saw that month, 54 customers, 27 no's, and 20 got in. From the 20 that got in, we ended up with about 100 people total in the group. And our volume was $189,000 in volume that month. And we had a check for $22,000 in the first 30 days. And we just went, holy cow. How did we do that?
Really?
That's not
120,000. That's like 120,000 kroners, or about 17, 18,000 euros. I had to kind of convert that. But anyway, hey, that's a lot.
That's a lot. And we just decided we'd keep doing that. You know, who cares how it worked? It was just working. And so we went out the next month and continued to work on that list, and we sponsored 3 more people. So we had a total in 60 days of 23 people sponsored. And that month we did $214,000 in volume. By the way, we broke 3 silvers the first month. We broke 3 more silvers in the second month, so we were platinums in 60 days. Our goal was actually diamond. Can you believe it? Diamond in 60 days. Oh, we missed that big time, but that's okay. It was a good goal, though. What the heck, right? Got a 6.
Right.
And so, but they had a car bonus in those days that when you went platinum, they just gave you $20,000. It wasn't an ongoing thing. It's a much better deal today because it just goes on and on and on. In those days, it was just a one-time check. So I convinced them to put the bonus check in with my regular commission check. And so Yvonne and I got a check in that second month of $50,400. So we had actually made $72,000 in 60 days. And we were excited. We were excited because, you know what? We finally found something we could fall in love with doing. We loved everything about it. People liked the product. People liked the business. It was just exciting times, and it still is. I get the question every day, guys, how can you still be so excited after all these years? And I just tell people, you know what? It's real easy to stay excited if you love what you're doing, and we do.
Right. It's not work either. Some people go, well, when are you going to retire? And I said, well, you don't retire from golf, or you don't retire from something, tennis, or something you like doing, you know, knitting or whatever, because it's fun. So you just continue to do it forever. It's just one of those things.
My common answer when somebody says that, when are you going to retire, is from what?
Right.
Let's talk about that process a little bit, okay? Because a lot of people work, okay, and they go, well, man, that's kind of overwhelming for some people. Go, how many people you talk to? But you know what? What's interesting to me, what you said, is that you had such a big list that you were talking to so many people. It didn't really matter. You weren't expecting everybody, because no one in any business in the world gets anywhere near the numbers you even got, with 54 customers and 20 people interested in working with you on the business side. If you look at Coca-Cola or anybody else, you'd say, well, what is their market share? It's like 13 to 17% of the total market for what they do. So you did a lot better than most businesses out there, but you started with a larger list, you know,
Yeah.
and so when you start with a larger list, you have an opportunity to fail more and still become successful.
Well, and people need to be patient with themselves because if let's face it, 99% of our people are part-time, and they have
Right.
jobs, and they need to pay their bills, and, you know, that's expected. So what we did in a couple of months, 6 months later with Diamond, you know, and all that, what we did in a short amount of time, so it may take you 3 or 4 years. So what? So what? Are you going to make a six-digit income in your job in 50 years or 40 years of work? Probably not, you know? And so here's a way we can show you how to create financial freedom for yourself. It's just going to take a little bit of time. And so you just have to divide that time up and work as hard as you can with the time that you have. That's all.
It's sort of like this, is that if you want to have security, or like what we have here in the States called Social Security, this is a great way to do it because over a period of 2 or 3 years, you can build up a greater income than you could ever possibly have for what we call Social Security in the United States. Over in Europe, any kind of government subsidy or et cetera. See, there's one thing to say, well, the government will give me X amount of dollars or money a month. I say, yeah, but can you travel the world with it?
Right.
Okay. Can you live the lifestyle like you want to, or are you going to just say, I'm just going to survive with what I have and be satisfied? It's all relative, but you can have a job right now and do this, and over 3 to 4 years, build your own security. That's what I'm hearing from you, Reid.
Absolutely, no question, because the only security we have in life is our own ability to produce. That's it.
Absolutely.
That's all.
But Reid, one question: if somebody really did have the time to to spend like 1 month on this, like you had, is it something in the market today that makes it impossible to do exactly what you did?
No, not at all. I think what it takes is a phenomenal attitude.
Mm-hmm.
It takes total belief. You know, it takes the magic. I call it the magic. You've heard me say that, Morten. I know you have. And the magic is sincerity and enthusiasm. You have to believe in what you have. And if you go see a bunch of people with that belief and enthusiasm, and they know you believe it, you can get results fairly fast. I can't guarantee you do what we did. I don't know.
You know what? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes, you can, Reid. Let me just say this. If you have the conviction based on what we have, which is the best in the world, and you put aside all the, oh, maybe if it doesn't work kind of attitude, but say, I'm going to go for it, it's kind of like go for it. Own it. You know, in the world, they now say, if you want to own it, you just go for it with great enthusiasm. I think you could do better today.
You should be able to contact more people. You should be able to do it faster, better, quicker, and have the same, if not better, results. But it's going to take that all-out massive action, like I'm reading here, and it's going to take absolute commitment on your part. But you got to have fun. You got to relax. And people, I think I like the word you just used, Chris. You got to own it.
Right.
It's got to
That's
be, you know, it's got to be something you totally believe in, so that people believe you. Then they'll talk to you about it. Absolutely.
You can't be tentative, though, is what I'm hearing. You can't go, well, you know, I saw something the other day, and I'm not sure if I'm interested, but maybe you ought to look at it and tell me what you think. I mean, if you're not believing it, then they're not going to believe it either. That's what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah, and you know what? I hate to say it this way, but sometimes it was just, are you in or you out?
Right.
Because I don't want to waste my time. So tell me now, let's talk about it, and let's go. It's that absolute conviction you're talking about and belief that gets people. It has nothing to do with how great everything is, really.
And it's being very direct is what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah, I believe in being direct. I don't believe in being mean, but I do believe in being direct. Absolutely.
So let's talk about dream for a second, okay, or dreaming, okay? You know, you and I have had lots of conversations about this. You know, when you're young, and I see the young even in the U.S., I know it's everywhere around the world, when you're young and if you get out of, you know, that time you're 17, 18, 19, 20, and you're getting older, you think sky's the limit. You think you can accomplish anything you want to for the vast majority of the people I've seen, young and all that. and then the world hits you right in the face. Okay, like reality.
Yep.
And then over time you just go, oh.
Well, that was a dream I had, right?
Right. I had that one time. You know, there's not a lot of situations out there, Reid, that you can actually get involved with not a lot of investment and go for the sky limit again. This is one of those. So I guess my question is, for those people that kind of lost that, I mean, how do we get people to say, hey, look, guys, you can still live your dream. Here it is, no matter what your situation is. Based on what I heard from you, Reid, it wasn't the best of times for you, and for a lot of people it's not the best of times. Does not mean you can't be successful. So how do we start living our dream again?
You know, that's interesting you say that, because we have to have one first. When we sit down with somebody and talk to them, we have to be excited about what we're doing. We have to, you know what, I responded to this guy recently, and I drove up in my new car, which you're going to see pretty soon. And I laugh about it because the guy, how will I know you when I see you? Well, you'll know me. My car is really conspicuous, and it's, I said, you'll just know me. So I drive up in this brand new purple Dodge Challenger SRT, which is just a fun car to drive. He walks out of the restaurant, because I've never met the guy, and he goes, I see what you mean. I can tell it's you. But you see, he said, how many guys your age go out and buy a car like that? How many people just go out and live their life because they want to? You know, we talked about that with this guy. We talked about travel, because he loves to travel. He hasn't done it for a while because he just hasn't had the time or the resources to do it. So we got him dreaming again. Because I said, you know what? I'm going to Alaska later this summer. We're going to Ecuador and South America, going to Europe. They're going, really? Do people still do that? He went, oh yes, absolutely still do that. I says, but you know what? It's not going to bite you. You're going to have to go for it. But you know, we've got people in our business, guys, that started when they were 26, 27, like Jeff Van Blerk and Mike Benicio. We got people like Jim and Betty Starnes that started their business when they were 70.
Right.
But they had a dream. They had passion in their life. They still wanted to make a difference, not only for themselves, but other people. And so, you know what? I believe very strongly the dream is alive and well, because I love to see people have that twinkle in their eye and get that dream back. You know what? I do want to have a nice home. I want to have a second home at the beach. I want to have a home in the mountains. I want to help more people through charities that I believe in. All these things they want to do, and if we can get them to believe they can do that again, I'm telling you, their world will change very quickly.
Absolutely. You know, I ditto that 100-fold, okay, Reid. I really believe that. I think that sometimes we limit our own selves and we think that that's status quo and that's okay, but it's not really okay, because you'll never be fulfilled necessarily if you limit what you really wanted in life. So, question. So we got people listening, and some of them are new, and they're just now getting started, and some still on the fence post. So what is the last piece of advice you would give them? I know we've had a lot of great things talked about here in the last 30 minutes, but what was that last piece of thing you would have to give a brand new person or a person that hasn't quite decided yet?
Well, the thing I'd give them is the word leverage. You know, I don't know another business, even in network marketing, that has the ability to leverage leaders like we do. And if you're new in this business, you want to get with the person that got you in the business. You want to meet their uplines and leverage them. You know, I'm doing a 21 club right now with a guy in the UK.
Right.
He's like 4 or 5 levels down from me. And he's 8 hours away from me in time zones. You know, it's a whole day away travel-wise. And yet we're working with him. We're dreaming with him. Getting him going and all that stuff, but he's leveraging me, because why not bring in your upline who has more experience, who has that success already, and let them talk to your friends? Why not do that? And, you know, Nikken talks about the ABC all the time. I'm telling you right now, without getting long and lengthy about it, you're going to want to learn that system and use it. And you know what? If I was in Morten's downline, I'd be using him till he's dead tired.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And
It's
Chris,
what we
too.
call what we call a 21 business club is what you're referring to. Just talking to a whole bunch of people about us, creating a lot of all-out massive action, and just having fun doing it. I tell you, I always say this, Reid. You can always tell if you're heading in the right direction. You got to look at yourself, what you're doing, and say, "Am I having fun?" And if you're not having fun, it's not because of the business; it's because of what we're doing or how we're doing it. So we need to adjust that so we're having fun and attracting the right people. So. Ditto. That's really awesome. Well,
there's one other statement I want to make here real quick.
Go ahead.
And that is, you know that you have an 80% greater chance of sponsoring somebody when you're not by yourself. So when you know that, why would you want to do anything by yourself? Why wouldn't you always want to bring in somebody from the outside to help you? You should always want to leverage somebody above you. It's really just a powerful thing to do. So there you go.
Absolutely. Well, Reid, I always have fun and enjoyment, and I feel like I want to be sponsored all over again. You know, every time I listen to you. Okay, so and you're a great mentor of mine as well. I mean, everybody needs mentors, and you're one of mine. I really appreciate everything that you've done worldwide to help everybody, that kind of thing. And I'm so happy that you were on this call. And I know that a lot of people listening to this call is going to get so much out of this, and maybe that one thing that will get them to live their dream again. And I think that's just really so awesome. So thank you so much for being on this call. And Morten, I'm going to give it over to you for your thoughts, and closing it out.
Right. Well, I totally agree with you, Chris. It's always you get so lifted up every time every time I hear you, Reid, and that means a lot. And I really look forward to meet you and of course everybody else in Las Vegas in October. That would be just great. So things like that, for example, going to Las Vegas with all your Nikken colleagues and friends, that is also a part of living life. That's also a part of fulfilling a lot of dreams. Not Las Vegas necessarily in itself, if that doesn't interest you, but to be together with friends, experience new things. That is a great part of life, and that is actually what we probably should be selling more than we do, like you have done for us right now. So I just thank you so much for that, and I hope a lot of you listening to this will meet Reid in Las Vegas and also be a part of all of these webinars that we are having on Mondays.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you so much,
Thanks a lot, Reid.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.